Welcome to CEO's Library, the 1% Bookshelf. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a game-changing book that has the power to revolutionize your career and your life. But before we get started, let me ask you this. Have you ever watched in awe as that one person in your office seems to know everyone, gets all the best opportunities, and rises through the ranks at lightning speed? Ever wondered what their secret is? Well, imagine this scene. A young man from a working-class family in rural Pennsylvania is caddying at an exclusive country club. As he carries golf bags for wealthy executives, he notices something fascinating. These successful individuals aren't just playing golf, they're building relationships, sharing information, and creating opportunities for each other. This young caddy realizes he's witnessing a powerful force at work, the invisible network that propels careers and opens doors. That young man was Keith Ferrazzi, and the lessons he learned on those golf courses would become the foundation of his groundbreaking book, Never Eat Alone. Today, we're going to unpack the invaluable insights from this modern classic on networking and relationship building. I'm thrilled to guide you through the key concepts of Never Eat Alone, because I truly believe this book has the potential to transform your approach to your career and your life. Whether you're a recent graduate just starting out, a mid-career professional looking to level up, or a seasoned executive aiming to expand your influence, the principles in this book apply to everyone. Now, let's start by addressing the elephant in the room, the word networking. For many of us, it conjures up images of awkward cocktail parties, exchanging business cards with strangers, and trying to sell ourselves to anyone who will listen. If that makes you cringe, you're not alone. But here's the thing. That's not what real networking is about at all, and that's precisely why Ferrazzi's approach is so revolutionary. At its core, Never Eat Alone is about building genuine, mutually beneficial relationships. It's about connecting with others in a way that enriches both of your lives. It's not about using people or keeping score. It's about creating a community of individuals who support and elevate each other. Ferrazzi argues, and I wholeheartedly agree, that in today's interconnected world, your network is your net worth. The most successful people in any field are those who have mastered the art of building and nurturing relationships. And the good news? This is a skill that can be learned and developed by anyone, regardless of your personality type or background. Throughout this episode, we're going to explore the mindset, strategies, and tactics that can help you become a master connector. We'll dive into how to overcome the mental barriers that might be holding you back, how to strategically expand your network, and the practical steps you can take to build meaningful relationships in any setting. But before we dive deeper, let me share a personal anecdote that illustrates the power of Ferrazzi's approach. A few years ago, I was at a crossroads in my career. I had a comfortable job, but I felt stuck and unsure of my next move. I had read Never Eat Alone and decided to put its principles into action. I started reaching out to people in industries I was interested in, not asking for jobs, but simply seeking to learn from their experiences. One of these conversations led to a coffee meeting with someone who would become a mentor to me. This person introduced me to others in their network, which eventually led to an exciting new job opportunity that I would never have known about otherwise. But more than that, it led to friendships and connections that have enriched my life in countless ways. That's the power of the Never Eat Alone philosophy. It's not just about advancing your career, although it certainly does that. It's about creating a rich, interconnected life filled with meaningful relationships. So, let's dive into the meat of Ferrazzi's groundbreaking ideas. We'll start by examining the mindset of a master networker, the fundamental shift in thinking that needs to happen before you can truly excel at building relationships. Ferrazzi argues that most people's view of networking is fundamentally flawed. They see it as a transactional process, something you do when you need a job or a favor. But this approach is short-sighted and ultimately ineffective. True networking, or as Ferrazzi prefers to call it, connecting, is about building genuine relationships over time. The key mindset shift is to focus on generosity rather than self-interest. Instead of approaching every interaction with the question, "What can this person do for me?" ask yourself, "How can I add value to this person's life?" This might seem counterintuitive, especially if you're in a position where you feel you need help. But by focusing on what you can give rather than what you can get, you create goodwill and establish yourself as someone worth knowing. This generosity-first approach doesn't mean you never ask for anything, But when you do need something, you'll have a network of people who are happy to help, because you've already established yourself as someone who gives freely. Another crucial aspect of the networking mindset is overcoming the fear and hesitation that many of us feel about reaching out to others. Ferrazzi acknowledges that putting yourself out there can be scary, especially if you're introverted or fear rejection. But he offers a powerful reframe. Every time you don't reach out, you're denying someone else the opportunity to expand their network and potentially benefit from knowing you. Remember, most people are flattered to be asked for advice or insights. By reaching out, you're not bothering them. You're offering them the chance to share their knowledge and potentially make a valuable new connection themselves. Ferrazzi also emphasizes the importance of authenticity in networking. Don't try to be someone you're not or pretend to know more than you do. People can sense insincerity, and it's a surefire way to turn potential connections off. Instead, be genuinely curious about others, admit what you don't know, and be open about your own journey and challenges. Now that we've covered the mindset, let's move on to the practical side of building your network. Ferrazzi introduces a concept he calls the Relationship Action Plan, or RAP. This is a strategic approach to expanding your network in a way that aligns with your goals. The first step in creating your RAP is to get clear on your goals. What do you want to achieve in your career or personal life? Once you have a clear vision, you can start to identify the people who could help you get there. These might be mentors in your field, potential collaborators, or individuals who have achieved what you aspire to. But here's a crucial point. Don't just focus on the big names or obvious choices. Ferrazzi emphasizes the importance of diversity in your network. Connect with people from different industries, backgrounds, and levels of seniority. Some of the most valuable connections often come from unexpected places. Your RAP should include specific actions you'll take to expand your network. This might involve attending industry events, reaching out to people for informational interviews, or volunteering for organizations related to your field. The key is to be proactive and consistent in your efforts. Ferrazzi also introduces the concept of pinging, regularly touching base with people in your network. This doesn't mean bombarding people with messages, but rather finding authentic ways to stay in touch. Maybe you send them an article you think they'd find interesting, congratulate them on a recent achievement, or simply check in to see how they're doing. Now, let's dive into some specific tactics and best practices for effective networking. One of the most important skills is making a memorable first impression. Ferrazzi emphasizes the power of preparation. Before attending an event or meeting someone new, do your homework, research the person or people you'll be meeting. Think about potential common interests or experiences, and prepare some thoughtful questions. When you do meet someone, focus on being present and engaged. Make eye contact, listen actively, and show genuine interest in what they're saying. Ferrazzi suggests using what he calls the deep bump, a brief but meaningful interaction where you try to establish a real connection rather than just exchanging pleasantries. Following up is crucial in networking, and it's where many people fall short. Ferrazzi recommends following up within 12-24 hours of meeting someone new. Send a personalized email or message referencing something specific from your conversation. If appropriate, suggest a concrete next step, like grabbing coffee or scheduling a call to discuss a shared interest further. When it comes to networking events or conferences, Ferrazzi has some unconventional advice. Instead of trying to meet as many people as possible, focus on making a few meaningful connections. Quality over quantity is key. He also suggests creating your own events within events, organizing dinners or small gatherings where you can facilitate deeper conversations and connections among a select group of people. One of Ferrazzi's most famous pieces of advice is, of course, to never eat alone. Use mealtimes as opportunities to connect with others. Invite a colleague you don't know well to lunch, or organize a dinner with a mix of people from different parts of your life. These more relaxed settings often lead to deeper, more meaningful conversations than you'd have in a formal business setting. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize that becoming a master networker is not about becoming someone you're not. It's about bringing the best version of yourself to your interactions with others. It's about being generous, curious, and authentically interested in the people around you. Remember, building a powerful network doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifelong process of nurturing relationships, adding value to others' lives, and continuously expanding your circle. but the rewards, both personal and professional, are immeasurable. So here's my challenge to you. This week, reach out to one person you've been meaning to connect with. It could be someone you met briefly at an event, a former colleague you've lost touch with, or someone whose work you admire. Send them a thoughtful message, invite them for coffee, or share a resource you think they'd find valuable. Take that first step in expanding your network and see where it leads. In conclusion, Never Eat Alone is more than just a book about networking. It's a guide to living a more connected, fulfilling life. By shifting your mindset from self-interest to generosity, strategically expanding your network, and mastering the art of building genuine relationships, you can open doors you never knew existed and create opportunities you never thought possible. Remember, in today's interconnected world, your success is increasingly dependent on the strength and quality of your relationships. So, don't go it alone. Reach out, connect, and never eat alone. Thank you for joining me on CEO's Library, the 1% Bookshelf. If you found value in this episode, please share it with a friend who could benefit from these insights. And don't forget, you can find the full transcript and accompanying visualizations for this episode at ceoslibrary.com. Until next time, happy connecting.